Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Llewellyn's Little Book of Empathy by Cyndi Dale. The little books, obviously they're not going to cover the topic in like a whole lot of detail because again there's like a size requirement for these, but I've been trying to read through as many as the library has. They have quite a few in this kind of style of the little books. New ones are coming out all the time. One just barely came out from Deborah Blake. The library doesn't have it yet, which is a bummer. I might have to actually go buy that one. But let's talk about empathy. So this book, if you are not familiar with how to deal with being an empath, this might be a good book for you. Ish. So one of the other reviews that I stumbled across when I was looking up other like takes on this, because I usually try and look up a little bit. Some books don't have a lot of conversation, so it makes it difficult. But one person that I had found talked about this and I totally agreed. And this book says a lot of the same thing over and over and over and over. And it does get a little tiring. And honestly, I think the big thing is that there's one technique, really, that the author uses, and that's it. And like, it's fine if one technique works for you, but like, when you go to these kinds of books, you expect to have like options. And there really isn't. It is the same, I want to say like 5 steps or something like that, of what to do every chapter, every example. It's kind of the same. Like, the middle of it is ever so slightly different, because it'll be like physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. But even then, it's like always broken down again and again and again and again and again. And so that kind of got old. I wish there had been more options in here and not just the same exercise over and over and over. Other people might really like that. It really would hone in on like the technique and you just do it again and again and again and like really get solidified in it. Especially if you were doing this like as a workbook and you went through every single exercise, maybe. Personally, I was a little tired of it. I wanted some variety that it didn't have. Also, there's like 3 main examples throughout the book, and it's either that you're over empathetic, under empathetic, or it's manipulation. And that was it. And I don't know that there's more than that, but at the same time, like the under empathetic, okay, like I think over was like codependency, under was like if you're autistic, and then if it was manipulation, you were a narcissist. And that was about it. And like, I don't know. Like, looking back on like the autistic people that I have met, yes, they struggle with that. Does this book give any like autistic ways to handle this? No. Like, if you are autistic, this is not going to be easy for you. Like, it's like, it's innate for people who aren't autistic. Like, you can like instantly be able to like get a gist of a person. And like, if you're autistic, you struggle with that. Whether it's tone or like body language, stuff like it can be really difficult. And the author just kind of brushed it aside. Also, I feel like narcissist was thrown around a little too much for manipulation. I feel like there might be other diagnoses that like that could apply to. Whatever, I don't know. And then again, codependency. Like, they were kind of always extreme examples in some ways, and like there was really not a whole lot to like handle it. Now granted, that's not what this book is necessarily for, but at the same time, I was like, if you're gonna throw around those kinds of things, like maybe go into that a little bit more. It did give off like the love and light, like new age style of this part of the community, where it's very like brush aside the problems. Everything can be fixed with a little visualization. Just put it in the hands of, in this case, spirit, and everything is fixed and fine. Also, consent kind of tossed out the window. Because like, you just send the energy at them, and it's fine. And it just, I don't know, it's not my thing, to say the least. And like, maybe I am under empathic, but I feel like no. And like, a lot of this was like, the thing that I struggled with is, where is empathy and just human? Because for the most part, 90% of these things are going to just be basic human functions of like, oh my god, you mean somebody might be sad? They might notice their dog is acting differently after another pet has died? Go figure. Like, it's just kind of your basics, and like, Also, personally, I found that a lot of people who claim empathy are like projecting their own stuff onto people, and like also like you don't need to be in other people's business that much. Like there's a whole lot of just like tapping into other people's energy all the time that it's like, how about we practice don't do that? That's weird. Stop. Like it's one thing if you accidentally do it, but we should have a bigger conversation on how that's not your thing to be dealing with. You don't have the context to go with all the stuff. And like it's just it's a little on the woo even for me. Like it's bordering into where I start to teeter and I'm like, I don't know about this. This is getting a little weird. Even for me, this is a little weird. Like you suddenly have all of these physical symptoms and it's like diagnosable by a doctor, but like once you realize you're being an empath and it's somebody else's problem, it's resolved like that. I struggle to believe that. I really, really do. Like that's where we're starting to hit my boundaries of like, I think this is not for me. I think other people might like this. Again, definitely more of like the love and light and like the new age, that community. You're gonna love this book. Witches, modern pagans, maybe. It depends on where you stand on that level of the community, to say the least. Like, it's not a bad book by any means. The writing is fine. It's just the content is like kind of hit or miss. It depends on if you're in that community or not. So anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Did you find it helpful? Did you not? Like, what is your take on like being an empath? Like, did any of these ring true for you or not? I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.